Storyteller. Man, you had one job. You had one job. Hi, this is a thing I did. Okay. We'll get through character introduction, I guess, very naturally. So we are going to open up on a cold but clear winter night. We are outside of the Oak Tree Motel. The Oak Tree is a poorly lit, run-down flea trap of a motel on the outskirts of Carpenter. The parking lot has a lot of park-at-your-own-risk signs posted all over, and the building itself is in kind of obvious need of repair. The light under the Oak Tree Motel sign lights up and just shows vacant, no tea, and it kind of seems all too appropriate for a town like this. You all find yourselves outside of room number 5 on the ground floor of a split-level motel. The door is slightly ajar, and what any of you would see from your point of view is 4 other strangers seemingly walking up to the same hotel room at the exact same time. Like, eerily symmetrical. Symmetrical. That word. I like the silence. It's a huge start to all of this. You're all this. I mean, this is it, man. This is you guys. This is what you see.
You guys called me?
Who the hell are you?
Guess that's no.
Did we all receive a phone call?
Did you?
Did you?
Somebody's playing a prank on us.
My guy just lights a cigarette and just doesn't say anything for right now.
So,
let me guess.
Kind of eyeballing everybody.
Let me guess. You. I pointed at all of us. You all got a call that says you're the only one who helped can redeem this town.
Hell no. I got a call saying I could find out some information here. Who the hell has the information that I want?
I was told that there'd be some kind of information, more of a technical information dealing with my specialty.
All right. Well, and I walk over and just push the door open.
Okay. As you open the door, all the lights are on, but it's completely silent inside. Inside of the room is a small old CRT TV. You are shocked that anywhere is still leaving a CRT TV inside of their room, but there it is in its full 1990s glory. 2 full twin beds and a large black spike rising from the floor. And on the end of that black spike is a 20-something girl impaled through the chest. Not long dead, but very dead.
Oh, shit.
My character is going to immediately run up and check to see her vital signs.
Okay, go ahead and roll me.
I'd like to go to my car and get some tools.
While you're doing that, Colin, roll me. Let's do intelligence plus medicine.
Why is nobody calling the police? I call the police.
And
I'm just, as you go to do this, I'm going to look at you and go, are you a doctor?
No. Are you?
Yes, I am.
And he just steps out of your way and like points.
Okay. Intelligence plus medicine. Eduardo, we will resolve you guys in just a second. Squid, we'll get to you as well. Let's get this roll out of the way really quick.
Five successes.
5 successes. She's not dead. She's very dead. Like it's fresh, but it's not so fresh that like you need to be worried about, somebody hiding under the bed right now or something. And from what you can tell, she was standing about where she was when that thing hit her and lifted her off of the ground. Just like based on her pose and about where it's hit, you can tell that this is what raised her up. It's like this spike has popped out of the ground to hit her. The pierce definitely came from the back, took her by surprise, and lifted her up.
My character is going to slip his hands into his pockets without saying a word and put some gloves on, and then start walking towards the door and just kind of like peeking around the door, like to make sure that nobody's like coming in.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
Looks really nervous.
Close the door. I want to tap him on the shoulder and ask him if he's got another cigarette.
Yeah. And he's like kind of like
At this
A
point,
little,
I'll
like,
pull out a cell phone and
Okay,
try
hold
to
on,
make
before
a
anybody
call.
does anything new, Eduardo, you're running out to your car. What are you grabbing?
I'm gonna get first and foremost my trusty baseball bat, and then I'm gonna get just kind of bag of tools. They've got gloves and other specimen taking type of instruments.
Okay. Grab all your stuff. You're gonna head back. Clifton, you're calling the police?
Opening his flip phone and calling the police.
Okay. Everybody's cool with this happening?
no.
I was
my
about to do
character's
it,
gonna
so if
step
he's doing
forward and
Wait.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I didn't hear the start of what you were saying, so I was asking you to
Oh.
start over.
My character's gonna step forward and kind of like just like gently put his hand like over your phone for a second, like, I don't know if that's such a good idea. I don't know if you want to be doing that right now. Maybe we should all just walk away and pretend like nothing, like we didn't see anything.
Dude, there's a dead body. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah. I don't know if this is a good place for me to be right now. And he's gonna kind of like, again, kind of like peek around out the door and start like walking out. He looks like he does not want to be here right now.
Real quick, just looking at the body, does it look like it's ritual or?
Not from the body, nothing that you can tell.
I mean, the spike coming out. I mean, it's
Yeah, but like you're not
ripped up
seeing
out of
like
the
any ritual carving. That's the only wound that you are finding on her person. Is just that.
Before you go there, Mr. Gloves, I'd rather not step into the room if I don't have to. Do you mind getting a nice little scraping from that spike there and put in this little baggie?
He like looks at you like slightly disgusted. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. He's like, you can handle your own dirty work. I don't think I should be here. This is a crime scene, and I don't like being in crime scenes. So he's gonna shove past you.
Are you with the police?
You did already step in the room, son.
Yeah, well, unless the rest of you are police officers, I don't think it's a good idea for us at all to be in here. And I don't want any police knowing that I was here, so.
I'm gonna lean against the railing outside, stare into the room, and continue to smoke the cigarette that he gave to me. And I turn and look at him and say, I won't tell him you were here, but I'm gonna stay here while they make the call.
Yeah.
Squid, while you're looking into the room, can you roll me... Oh man, I wish this game had like a passive perception. Roll me a wits plus... Roll me a pure wits. You're not really looking, but I want to see if you see something.
What am I rolling?
Just roll me a straight wits roll.
By the way, am I getting the tummy rumblies?
You're not actually getting the tummy rumblies right now.
What die am I rolling?
It'll be 2D. This whole game is D10s. So you will just roll as many D10s as you have wits, and then tell me if you get an 8, a 9, or a 10 on any of those rolls.
And if it's a 10, you get to roll it again.
Yes.
I'm rolling 2d10.
Okay.
All right. 5, 9.
So
A 9?
One success.
What does catch your eye is a large stack of like a weirdly large stack of file folders on the counter in front of the body.
I'll put out my cigarette on the bottom of my shoe, step into the room, walk over to them, and lift up the stack and start thumbing through them.
So the first thing you notice as you start thumbing through them, the one on the very top has a picture of the guy with the gloves who's trying to leave. And what you're assuming is a lot of information about this guy and his life.
As soon as I see his photo, open it, look at him, look back at this, see what the first couple of bits of information are on this piece of paper, and gauge if it's something that I should be telling him about, or if it's something that I'm making a quick decision in my own head.
Yeah, no, and actually, if you can roll me, I guess this game doesn't have really much for history check, but being from the town, I would say you recognize a couple of key words in this right away. And the biggest key word is you're recognizing that this guy and Baby Bathory, the famous serial killer from 88, have the same last name. He's born in this town. They're of similar age.
Okay.
And that would be the first thing that jumps out. After that, it honestly just looks like notes on his day-to-day activity. And what you're seeing in there is, some less than legit things that he's done.
Okay. I will take this folder and tuck it under my arm and start to look through the other stacks.
Okay. The very next one is of the guy with the cell phone who is trying to call the police. He's another local, but you recognize him. You recognize the names that are in play right here, but you're not drawing a strong connection. But you definitely this guy was in papers. You've seen him in newspapers recently enough to remember it.
Okay. I will tuck that one up under my arm as well, while they're looking and dealing with his body, and he's trying to get his scrape, and continue to look through these papers, wondering if I'm going to find one on myself.
Can I see this happening?
You're outside. He's just within the door. So are you standing where you can see right inside of the door?
I'm standing outside the door looking in because I really want
to get boxers to other gloves to get him a scrape.
Yeah. So you would, I would say this is happening at the same time that you're trying to get your scrape from gloves. Nobody said their names yet. From gloves. So this is you're seeing him thumb through something through Gloves' body while you're trying to talk to him. And I would say he probably has enough time to get to the third folder, and the third folder is a bunch of information on you. Detailed, like day-to-day activities of what you've been doing for the last month and a half.
But I have no idea what he's looking at.
Yeah, you cannot see any of the information. It's on, manila folder, papers, pictures.
So what type of material is this spike made of?
I am ever so glad that you asked that, because that's the thing that I took notes on. The spike itself seems to be made of material that you are definitely not familiar with. In your best approximation, it's a weird hybrid of wood and crystal. The texture and the look to it is crystal, but the patterns it grows in look very
grainy?
wooden. Well, yeah, grainy and barky, almost like it could flake, but you're sure even with a good knife you could not pry one of these platelets off, and it is pitch black in color.
As he's inspecting it, I'd be like, hey sir, while you're there, could you get me a little sample?
No, you can get your ass in here.
I
I ain't doing your job.
Job? We're not even supposed to be here.
As they're arguing about this, since he's looking past me, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna I'm gonna notice this guy with these files, and do I need to roll a check to see what he's looking through, or?
By the time you're turning around, he's got a couple tucked under his arm. He's thumbing through a third one. From where you're standing, you really couldn't make out what it is, but you definitely see a guy who's very intently reading some papers he just found. Clifton, have you started redialing cops by this point? Or are you watching the madness?
He's still calling it.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea that I'm presently implicated in all of this.
Okay.
I just think I've stumbled onto a crime scene.
You whip out your phone, you dial, but your phone's not sending the call. This is a small remote town, the outskirts of which are kind of known to have really you would know this. The closer you get to the woods, the less good a signal is. You could probably walk around and try and find a signal, but this is a pretty remote little suburb, and cell phones have never been the most reliable.
So,
Based on the congeal and the rigor mortis on the body, what time of death? Like, are we talking 5 hours, 6 hours?
You're probably looking at more 2 to 3 hours.
Sorry, am I remembering right that this is a hotel?
This is a motel, hotel, yeah.
All right, I go to the lobby.
You're gonna start heading your way towards the lobby?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get his attention first.
Okay.
But I don't think you should be running off. If the police do come, we're gonna need everyone to just kind of corroborate our story.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll be back. I'm just gonna go to the lobby and use their phone there.
I don't believe you. Please step back over here. And I do have a metal bat.
Are you threatening me?
I am just highly suggesting we stick together until we can figure this out.
I'm gonna look up from the folders over at the gentleman who's holding the bat. Tell him that there's absolutely no need for a confrontation. There's obviously something going on here. He's making the right call to contact the authorities, but you are right in the fact that he should not go alone.
As he starts brandishing the bat, I try to call the police. I'm gonna like slip my hand in my pocket and pull out a pair of brass knuckles and just hold them at my side, like quietly.
Yeah, you just want to get that at the ready?
Yeah, just like, but noticeably though, like towards the guy with the bat, like,
so
because he's threatening violence on this other guy.
You see a guy kind of just like getting ready to hit you if need be.
Well, we got one body. We don't need two. Let's just.
I'm merely stating a fact. I don't know any of you lovely gentlemen. I just know that there's something going on, and if one person sneaks off, how do I know you're not the killer?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm going to walk over to the phone in the room and see if it has a dial tone.
That's probably a good call.
Let me take... Oh, actually, Edge, there is one thing I left off. Sorry, you did hit a success marker that I had marked. As you're going through the body, towards the end of your just kind of general looking around her, a couple things you notice. So, girl, mid-20s, blonde hair, and an upper arm tattoo of 3 rings tattooed on her arm. Just 3 black rings tattooed up her upper right arm. Yeah, and a look of surprise on her face, just so I can give you everything. So you're going to head towards the phone, and on your way there, you should be fine. So yeah, you go up, you grab the phone. Surprising you not at all, the cable that connects the phone to the body of the phone is clipped.
Well, had to try, since you all can't seem to work like true adults and are acting like a bunch of children, threatening to beat each other up on the playground.
Oh, you misunderstand me. I don't mind if you call the police. I just don't want someone to leave the scene of the crime.
Oh, all right. I mean...
Then why don't you just go walk over to him to the lobby so that he doesn't go by himself?
So
Honestly,
one of y'all could run off as well? I don't know any of you at all.
Well, we don't know you, man.
That's fair enough. And that's why I was staying put right here. I haven't even gone into the room.
Yeah, fuck this, man. I'm fucking making that call.
Squid, one more time, you broke up.
Sorry.
Going through the other 2 files, shaking my head.
As you're going through the other 2 files, can you roll me one more? Let's do intelligence plus investigation. Actually, can you roll me wits plus investigation? You're combing through these files. You kind of know what you're going to see in the other 2. You see the other 2 gentlemen who are in the room. You have files on them. You have all their details. You're the only one who knows anybody's name besides your own at this point.
5.
So the only thing you want to report back. So when you roll all these die, 8s, 9s, and 10s are successes. 10s get you a free try for another success. So you get to roll a dice again, and then just tell me the number of successes that you get.
2 successes.
2 successes. That is actually perfect. With 2 successes, sir. As you're looking through the dossiers, you actually find, kind of just shoved in between them, a picture of, as far as you can tell, the murder victim. Let me see. How did I word this? You find a victim of the murder victim, and you find a picture of the murder victim and 2 other women, one of similar age and one of late high school to early college age, standing in front of what you would know as the town library. And on the back of that picture is a single word. It just says Tangle.
I'm gonna take that photo and for gentleman and say, "Is it her?" Hand him that photo.
So he broke up there, but I can actually tell what he said. He's going to look at Edge, and he's going to ask you if you think that this is the girl from the picture.
And I'm gonna hand him that.
Okay. And one other thing to note for you specifically, one thing you notice is next to where it says Tangle, you see a thing that looks very familiar to you. And Squid, I said I was going to show you something from your dream. You see this. There we go. It's obviously backwards for you, but you see this. And in that dream that you've been having, you've seen this. Okay.
The other 2 dots.
Cutting out a lot.
Yeah, you're cutting out pretty bad.
Let me adjust my microphone. Is that better?
Where
Yes,
is your mic? Is it a desk mic? Or?
No, it is right next to my mouth. Why it is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, because my voice is going forward and my mic is left. But I've moved my headset so that it can pick up better. My apologies. The other 2 dossiers.
Mhm.
I'm assuming it's one on me and one on whoever the last person was.
Yeah, so, well, actually, you already saw yours, the ones we didn't go over before. You see one on the gentleman with the bat and one on the gentleman who is examining the body. So, yeah,
Okay.
you do have both of those as well. And again, it's the same kind of information, who they are, what they do, where they're from, and really detailed notes on what they've been doing for the past month and a half, 2 months. Some are a little longer than others, but mostly around the same time frame.
Cool. As the one person currently in the room with any of that information, does any of that information stick out more than what you have already told me, to the point that the gentleman who is currently interested in leaving and then he gave me a cigarette, he doesn't want to be here and he's got some more nefarious ties? Does anything else really stick out at me in my perusal of this, to the point that it may cause me to interact differently?
So the guy with the bat, you actually recognize, because you work in a dive bar and, a lot of times they have sports and things up. You actually recognize him as a former, you're not sure the sport, but you've seen this guy on television. Like this guy played, you definitely saw him in his heyday
So
playing.
he's a sports ball.
He's a sports baller. The other guy is not somebody that you would all recognize, but one of the things that would stand out, he's a military veteran who was discharged. He did not serve his full term. He was released.
Okay.
And that's quick glance. If you want to read more, you can obviously read more, but just flipping through, these are sort of the highlights that you're seeing.
Copy that. Awesome.
I guess one of the things that would stand out, if you're actually going to flip through, the guy that you definitely recognize from the newspaper, if you're flipping through, you're seeing something about a murder.
Okay. I have currently tucked 2 out of 3 of the folders under my arm.
Correct.
That is guy who gave me a smoke and the guy who keeps trying to call the cops.
Correct.
The other 3 are on the table still, and I want to pick up mine out of that stack of 3 and open it and read mine detailed and see what the heck kind of information these people have on me and what the fuck is going on.
It's actually kind of like, it's almost too detailed. Like, you're buying coffee and it's, the number of sugars you put in your coffee. It's how long it takes you to get ready before you head out to work. It's the exact number of miles you drive to get to your job. And the details are inconsistent. Some things seem to be focused on more than others, and there's not really a discernible pattern to it. It's just facts. It's facts for the sake of being facts about you.
This exact thing is going to spike my hyper awareness even more so than a body in a room.
Okay.
Like to the point of like I'm reading this and I'm like working on controlling my breathing because this is like hypervigilance.
You're going into a panic, basically.
Almost, yeah. But it's the kind of thing where it's controlled. It is a panic response that has been trained to be.
I would say
Fight or flight reaction, but it's something that I've experienced, and that kicks in moreover into my character, which I haven't sent to you fully.
Sure, and I would say that Edge and Colin, these are the kind of things your guys' characters would actually like. Colin, I'm not sure if you're paying attention. Edge, you're a little closer to it, so you would actually probably notice. But Colin, if you're looking
paying attention
in the room,
now, yeah,
you would probably see the textbook signs of somebody kind of going into like he's frozen, where Eduardo and Clifton are more running around the room, arguing about things and looking at things. This guy has picked up something, and you immediately notice the signs of somebody who is like panicking over what he's reading. Like what he has seen is not okay, and that's the kind of thing you can immediately
And that's
tell.
when I immediately snap on and I'm like, okay, what's going on, man? Everything's all right. We're all cool. Everything's all right. What's going on? And just kind of try to talk him through and walk him through it.
Without saying a single word, I'm just going to hand him his dossier.
I'm gonna walk forward as well and put my brass knuckles back in my jacket pocket.
And I will set the folder aside. My focus is on you. I never lose eyesight with you as I'm talking with you and trying to calm you down basically and walk you through. Just breathe, just work through it. Basically, I'm in full doctor mode at this point.
I'm going to snap. I'm fine. Read your... Look at that. What I handed.
All right.
Did you hand me mine as well or no?
Response. It's not meant to be... No, I've only handed it to the doctor.
Okay.
It's a panic response. It's not meant to be argumentative or aggressive.
No, and that's what my character would assume. I mean, I'm used to that kind of thing. And, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to make a roll or a kind of decision on that you're more of just panicking at this point and not trying to really fight me or anything. So to humor you, while keeping one eye on you, I'll pull out the folder and flip it open and take a look in the manila folder and see what's in there.
Yeah, you're going to immediately recognize. I mean, this is your day, and again, strangely detailed, like things that you thought the military would not have released. This has detail, places you went, why you went there, orders, maneuvers, everything, and then up to as recently as like a couple of months ago. So besides your history, there's obviously gaps.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be your time in the military, a bit about your career and your transition into it, and then very detailed notes on what you've been doing for the last couple of months.
I like your dice stack, by the way. Sorry, I was watching the video. As he's like looking through his, I'm gonna hand the guy who gave me a smoke his out from under my arm, and the gentleman from the newspaper out from under my arm as well. I'm gonna place Eduardo's on the table towards his direction. So I've kind of parsed this information out to the people who I can tell that they belong to.
Yeah.
I am not sharing any of the information that I got while parsing through those characters. Like anything that I retained from briefly looking through that is not something that I'm talking about or doing anything about. Like I'm like that's all on mine. I'm not sharing that information.
Okay.
I'm gonna immediately start flipping through my folder.
I assume you all. Edward, are you going to come inside and grab yours, or you're going to stay outside? Okay, so you're the only one who's going to be in the dark about this, but everybody else, you're finding the same thing. It's a lot about your careers. It's a lot about who you are. But as you all get towards the end of, flipping through everything, Colin, you see a bit about the dreams you've been having. Like, you haven't told anybody about these dreams, but, and dreams are hard to hold on to in your head. But you're seeing kind of a chronicling that, yeah, this, as far as you remember, these are your dreams. Clifton, your reoccurring nightmare that you've had is fully detailed in this. Jack, the guy that you thought you have lost, there's a little bit of information, not enough for you to tell, what you need about it, but there's more than you've seen. It's enough to legitimately kind of start a trail. And then Saint, what you're seeing about your guy, there is also bits of information about your friend, like they're the same detail that was taken out on you. You see the starting of that kind of chronicling of his day happening towards the end of your file.
Cool.
Other than the information that's in there about my history, is there anything in there with like any current stuff about what I'm looking for without giving anything away?
No. There's nothing about what you're looking for. A lot about you and a lot about your past and a lot about your dream, but not really anything that's what you came to this hotel for.
So I'm going to take a look at that photo that was he handed to me with the 3 girls. And is there anything written on the back of the photo?
Yeah, it says Tangle, and you see, obviously reversed. I will get you guys a copy of the sigils that you see.
Yeah, right. Okay,
But
so it's just that and Tangle.
This sigil, yes.
Can I look at the photo as well and see if I recognize either of the girls in that photo?
If he will give it to you.
Yeah.
Mind if I see that real quick, please?
Yeah, sure.
Well, while they're
Okay.
doing that, I'm gonna reach into my gear bag and pull out like those big lab gloves that come up to your elbows. I'm gonna put 2 of those on,
I'm going to look at you with one raised eyebrow.
and I'm gonna take just as little steps as possible as I take to go to the room, grab my file, and then walk right back out.
Do I recognize either of the girls in these photos?
No, you do not recognize any of them.
He's just gonna like throw it on the table and be like, "Fuck."
After flipping through my file, I look up slowly at the body lying on the spike, and I focus on it. And in my mind, I draw a sigil in the air and try to activate my abilities. Oh, Devin's gone.
No, I stepped over to the window is all. Just up to the window. Okay, Clifton.
Your ability has made our storyteller disappear.
Okay,
Really?
so go ahead and roll your ability for me and let me know the amount of successes you get. So while he's rolling this, what the rest of you see is the guy who was kind of cagey about all this is now like pretty interested in the body, stepping close to it, and just kind of closes his eyes. And you can tell he's just kind of trying to breathe it in is probably the best way any of you can put it.
So there are no penalties because within a day and in the place.
Yep.
So
and Eduardo, while he rolls that, you're seeing exactly what I explained to them. It's your baseball career, you're failing your last few days, and then towards the back of yours, you can tell somebody's trying to formulate some sort of equation, but it almost doesn't make sense. There are just huge jumps in thought throughout the equation that just kind of like it all works, but going from one bit of the equation to the next doesn't make sense. Clifton, successes, please.
0.
0 successes. You get some vague images. You're pretty sure one of them's a llama, and you have no idea how it fits in.
Can I try again?
I don't know if there's a cooldown on something like this.
Doesn't it cost you willpower?
I was gonna say, just as a rule of thumb, go ahead and spend me a willpower to try it again.
It already costs a willpower just to use.
Then spend me 2 for the next one. It's more taxing to do it again.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, well,
That's how I'll kind of keep it balanced. You guys are not professional psychics. This is new to you.
And
So
storyteller, just so you know, I'm doing my darndest not to have my ability activate.
Is there...
Fair.
Can I also expend another willpower just to bump it up a bit?
Yeah, of course. You can add a die or you can force a success.
Oh, is it add 1 die?
I believe you can spend a willpower to add a die unless I'm crossing Old World of Darkness with the newer one again. But for right now, let's say go for it. Let's have you add a die. We're establishing things. Let's do it.
And while he's doing this, I want to check the victim just to see if there's any like marks on her hands. Like, was there a struggle? Was it just she was completely
roll me
caught
a
off guard?
second roll to take another look, but add 1 to it because now you're looking for something specific. And this is getting up towards the end of our day, so we'll do this, and then I'll read you guys your next part, and we will break for the week.
I got 1 success.
1 success. The one thing that is very much standing out in your mind, that sigil is burning very bright, but when you're seeing the sigil, it's against the library. It's just like it is in the picture. Almost like it's tagged on the side of the library, but you can tell this isn't spray paint. That sigil is glowing against the library.
Is there like a bathroom or any windows in the room?
There is a bathroom and there is a big window on the far wall from the entrance.
I'd like to take a look at both of those.
Okay. Go ahead, roll me an investigation and wits, we'll call it. Edge, your roll success.
Okay,
7 successes.
7 successes. Looking at the body, you're not really finding anything new. There's no extra cuts, no extra trauma. It doesn't really look like she was hit or beaten, just that this thing rose up, pierced, and lifted.
What do I roll, or how do I roll for investigation and wits?
So you take the number of dots you have in investigation, the number of dots you have in wits, and roll that many dice. If you have no investigation, you take -3 to this roll.
I do have investigation. Okay. So I got 2 5s and a 6.
2 5s and a 6.
No
Looking
success.
around, yeah, no successes. That's
Okay.
So you look around, you don't see anything.
Okay. Nothing in the bathroom either.
Mm-mm.
Once I'm finished looking through my dossier, I'm just gonna look at all of them and be like, well, since most of you know, I guess it's no big secret. Oh, that is the color of underwear I'm wearing today. My name is Dr. Grudge. Nice to meet y'all.
Jack Hale.
Rudolph.
On award.
Squid
Wait.
says nothing.
I
And
had a
he
long
sneezes.
coming there while you were introducing, and I couldn't actually say what I was trying to say. Y'all can call me Spit, like the animal.
You're breaking up
What?
so bad.
No,
this
he
isn't
said
even words.
squid like the animal.
Okay,
Y'all can call
squid
me
like the
Squid,
animal.
like the animal with the tentacles.
Okay. And as you all kind of introduce each other really quick, you guys hear a very loud crack. And a flake falls off of the spike. Like the very tip of the spike breaks and falls off. And that's where we'll end. Will be our episode 0 intro. So the next one will be much longer. We'll do the 2 full hours.
Yeah. So this was kind of the tester episode for folks that are going to be watching it on the YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We're going to do 2 full hours starting on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Awesome.
I like that he froze right when he said that. So, how's everybody feeling? Good, bad? Want to ramp it up? Want to ramp it down? Moving too slow? Moving too fast?
I'm good with it, but I'm a little confused because the